that. That certainly will help us do more than we currently are doing, and down the road a little farther, if we did get another employee in line maintenance. That's the main point where we're low, is in line maintenance.
What about, we've had conversations in the past about meter testing and loss of revenue as opposed, is that, are we doing that at the rate we should be now?
Not quite yet, but we are gaining on that. For instance, last year we bought about 200 meters. This year we've had a shortage of help in the utilities division on the meter techs. It's just been a fairly significant turnover there. But we will still hopefully get all of those 200 meters out this year. That's 100 more than we've been doing. We need to have 600 or 700, but we can't really staff up for that. We've got to, contract some of that.
Okay.
Jim, well, you made the mistake of coming up to the podium. And I believe it's approximately $720,000 worth of projects that we're talking about doing with repainting the clear well and some of the other projects that are being done. How does that compare historically? Well, at least the last 5 years or so with what we've been doing in major maintenance beyond the day-to-day or yearly things that Christie was talking about.
We had been putting them off. For instance, we painted the downtown storage tank, the above-ground tank, since I've been here in that 6 years, and we painted the 183rd Street tower on the outside, but we haven't painted the interior yet. We'll be doing that this year, before the first of the year. But so that's 2 facilities. Well, we have 6, and the other 4 we haven't really addressed since they were constructed. Now,
so we're gonna get more done this year than we've been in the recent past.
Yes, and I think next year even a little more.
Very good. Anyone else?
Laura, I have a question. Were there any discussions with the EUB as how this would impact their 2014 budget, and if that might accelerate any projected rate increases that they may have expected in their 5 to 10 year plan?
Not directly, no, sir.
Not directly, conversations or, okay. I guess, is there an estimate that they possibly could, or is there any way for us to know that before we finalize things? My only concern is when you're taking one from one spot to put it in another, we're not robbing Peter to pay Paul, when the rate increases may equal out because they have to make a projected increase down the line.
Oh, if I could. I mean, I've been to some EUB meetings. I know that they've got reserve funds that are balances that are established by ordinance. Those are all fulfilled.
Great.
They're seeing money in the form of bottom line profit year over year. There's been talk about possibly studying rates and whether or not maybe they could be decreased. So I don't know that we might not have had a direct conversation with the EUB about this, but they're in a different situation financially than we are at the city, and especially in the water and wastewater funds. Anybody else have anything for Laura?
Yes, the only question I had for you was, I know I think it was December, we approved a realignment of positions, and since employee costs are one of the highest components of the budget, how is that? How are we looking? Did we achieve the savings that we thought we would?
We exceeded the savings that we projected.
Have all the positions been filled?
No.
Okay, well.
And we've kind of purposely staged the filling of them so that we would realize some greater savings than what we projected.
I would be interested in seeing how that shakes out, because there wasn't a lot of information given to us at the beginning other than the number.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Thanks. Okay. Well, at this point, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing on the 2014 budget.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Shute, second Harrison, that we open the public hearing on the 2014 budget. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. At this time, the public hearing is open. Members of the public that are interested in having their thoughts heard by the governing body of the City of Gardner are welcomed and encouraged to step forward, state your name and address for the record, and be heard regarding the city's 2014 budget. Anyone? That being the case, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Harrison, second Freeman, that we close the public hearing on the city's 2014 budget. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Very good. New business item number 2. Authorize the mayor to make the recommended appointments to the Airport Board, Board of Zoning Appeals, Electric Utility Board, and Planning Commission. Very quickly, I'm going to look to my left. Are we considering the additional boards and commissions separately, or all at once? Are we bound by policy to consider the Planning Commission separate from the electric utility, separate from?
Legal has advised we can do them all at once.
We can do them all at once.
Oh, wait a minute. Counselor, I object, because
You
according
can.
to what I read earlier about on the website, it talks about one appointment, and obviously, 2 people may have, this may be the will of the 2 that were involved from a council perspective in putting together this list of people, but, and while they may like the entire list, we should be able to vote yea or nay on individual appointments.
I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
It's why I was referring,
Yeah, I can-
and with the fact that you may have objections or such,
You can do it either
we
way.
can do it individually. So, that being the case,
I think for the sake of transparency, that we should do all of them, not all of them, but each one of them separately by board.
that's what I was,
Yeah.
was what I was suggesting. I checked, and it's okay, but if there's somebody that's going to have a question, I've got no issue.
Just to clarify, from what I read, it's not even okay. It says an appointment, meaning one appointment, and it talks about appointments, candidates in a plural fashion. So
Okay.
clearly the ordinance was set up so that, we'd have a chop on each one.
On each set of appointments or each
Well,
appointment?
each appointment.
Well, we can certainly do it that way. Does
Not-
anybody on the council object to approaching it in that fashion?
No, but I will say, I mean, in the past, we have done some of these on a consent agenda. So,
You can.
and I think this is a little bit unique in that we've been putting off some appointments, so we have several. But in the past, we have done some on a consent agenda, so maybe we need to clarify that later. And I don't have any problem going through individually if it makes everybody feel better, but I mean.
I agree, it has been on a consent
Yeah.
agenda before.
You can do it.
So we'll go ahead and do it individually, but
As a single
as
appointment.
a single
Appointment.
person being appointed
It was on
at
the
a
consent
time.
agenda. No, I'm just saying.
Oh, no, we've had multiple people brought forward on a consent agenda and approved it in the past. So, but I'll provide a little background. The March 18th, 2013 meeting, the governing body adopted a formal appointment process for the city's boards and commissions and incorporated the process into the governing body rules of procedure. That being the case, the process included identifying vacancies. In this case, we had a vacancy on the